What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur Hour TV for another video on the second channel for Amateur Hour. On this channel, I like to go through additional NBA-related topics, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors, that I just do not have enough time to go through on my main channel, Amateur Hour Sports, with over 11,000 subscribers, nearly 12,000 now. So instead, we do so on this channel instead, where the vibes are different, a lot more of a personal touch from myself, a lot more of an informal approach, but still that great Raptors content that you love. And today, a little bit of differences. You might see it, you might hear it. New microphone. I hope it sounds good. Hope it syncs up with the video properly, which I'm kind of nervous about. And the lighting is better. I think the camera quality looks better, even though it's the exact same camera. Anybody starting out in content, lighting is more important. Well, you need a decent camera. Lighting is important, or else your camera is useless. But let's get into the Raptors content. That's exactly what you showed up for on this channel. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to this TV for more content like this in the future. But let's talk about this video I saw for Scottie Barnes. So, a little bit of a video that made waves around social media regarding Scottie Barnes. Now, Scottie Barnes this offseason, he's been working on his basketball game in particular. He's looking like an absolute monster everywhere that I see him. Now, obviously, this is offseason stuff, and we need to see it in like actual NBA settings. We'll be patient on that one. We're going to see it very soon. But what he's also been doing is he's really trying to get to that superstar level. And, you know, there's some certain players in the NBA, like, you know, there's very special cases like Kawhi Leonard where, you know, you don't need to have that personality or that online presence to be a superstar. But for a lot of guys in the NBA, part of being that superstar and part of what brings them that sort of superstar acclaim beyond just their on-court product, and obviously that's probably the biggest thing as well. But you also need to have that sort of online presence. And Scottie Barnes has been doing a great job of building that this offseason, in my opinion. You know, he's on his Twitch. He's got 2 YouTube channels now. I think those are doing all right. And Raptors fans, they just love to see content from one of their own players. And I think in general, we're in a great era right now where these players have the ability to create their own content, like Scottie Barnes. You know, we've seen that with Draymond Green and his podcast. It's not a distraction, you know. These guys can do stuff other than just play basketball. Like, they need to have other hobbies. This is their job after all. What would you be doing if you had to just do your job like 16 hours a day? Anytime you weren't sleeping, you had to be doing your job. No, it's fun to do other stuff. Scottie Barnes has been doing that, and he's been on Twitch trying to grow his platform. Now, he was on a stream with, I believe his name is Adin Ross, a huge Twitch streamer. I should probably know his name more confidently. I'm pretty sure that's what it is anyway. And clearly Adin Ross doesn't really know much about basketball, but he was asking Scottie Barnes some questions, and this one in particular was of interest to Raptors fans, which I would definitely like to showcase to you guys in this video and react to. A short video, but let's go ahead and toss this on. I'm going to get my headphones in so I can listen as well. Okay.
All right, fine, Scott, if you could play with one person in the NBA without, like, tampering your fucking deal or getting in trouble, who would you want to play with? Like, be honest.
OG Anunoby.
Who?
OG.
I love that is like the who? Like, you know, if I was interviewing, you know, from a popularity standpoint online, Adin Ross probably has more of like a Twitch popularity than Scottie Barnes. So, I mean, he doesn't really need to be as invested in these interviews as maybe somebody like myself would be. But even still, like, can you at least learn the team before asking questions to Scottie? Anyways, they're just playing 2K, so whatever.
Who's OG?
Look him up. Greatest player to ever play the game of basketball.
Who?
OG Anunoby. That's on the Raptors.
Anunoby.
Bro,
This guy said Anunoby. Did you guys hear that? He said Anunoby.
Anunoby. That's on the Raptors.
Oh my God.
Bro, I'm saying that, like, it's not on the Raptors, bro. That's like, fine. Let me not get you in trouble. If you could play with any player of all time, who would you play with?
I'll take OG.
Over, like, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq.
Me and OG have that connection when we're on the court. So I'd rather play with OG.
Sorry, if you hear the music with the bass distorted, it's from this. It's not on my end, by the way. Thank you.
OG than Jordan.
It's kind of like the connection we have in 2K right now.
Yeah, low key.
All right.
Good save there. He didn't know who OG was. And, you know, I guess if you're like a casual NBA fan like Adin Ross is, who's not really watching games, I'm sure. I mean, he's busy with the content endeavors. You don't know who OG Anunoby is, but that's not what we're talking. We're talking about Scottie Barnes. If he could play with any player all time, he would pick OG Anunoby. I believe there was another video from this stream where Scottie Barnes was asked who his favorite player in the NBA is, or maybe it was somewhere else. Scottie was asked who his favorite player in the NBA is, and he said it was Pascal Siakam, which is great to see. So it's very small. I mean, like you're reacting to like a little clip from a Twitch stream, and I think this post from Alex Wong on Twitter kind of sums up how Raptors fans feel about Scottie Barnes. He can become the most loved Raptor of all time. I simply tweeted him as Scotiabank and saying rather play with OG Anunoby than Michael Jordan. And sure, this is something that's very small and maybe not very relevant. Obviously, he wouldn't actually want to play with OG over Jordan all time. At least I don't think so. I don't know. Scottie Barnes is kind of crazy. So maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Regardless, something as small as this, how is this newsworthy? And I think what makes all this so exciting to see is that it's just like we Raptors fans, like we don't get players like this. Like we're very much known for, we shouldn't be anymore, but we are very much known for at this point as a franchise, as a team that doesn't attract free agents. That's still true to this day. We don't attract marquee free agents. Hopefully that changes one day. And the stigma that still remains, that shouldn't remain anymore, is that the Raptors, like people don't want to play in Toronto. People don't want to play in Canada in particular. That stigma is outdated and in my opinion is wrong at this point. So for somebody like Scottie Barnes to be consistently, out in social media, out in doing all of his media endeavors, his online presence and all, and even from day one, like before the draft, before even day one, day zero, he wanted to be on the Raptors. It's just very refreshing for Raptors fans like myself to see somebody who is so passionate about Toronto, about the Raptors, and about playing here and about wanting to succeed here. Like that's just not something that you normally see, excuse me. And if you go to players, like obviously you look at the guys in the team right now, like Siakam, like you can just tell he loves playing for the Raptors, will play in Toronto. Same goes for Fred VanVleet, it seems like, and you obviously had Kyle Lowry, loved it here. DeRozan had a year. And sure, like they can love it here and love playing here, and I really appreciate that. But what Scottie Barnes is doing, what makes him so likable for Raptors fans, is he's going so far out of the way to shout out, the team, the city, the country, and even going as far as we see here, going out of his way to shout out his teammates. And that's just something that is really refreshing to see from a fan standpoint. And this is somebody who just wants to help build the culture within Toronto, build the culture within the city. Like he really wants to be a part of everything, and he really wants to associate himself with fans. He did the Pro-Am in Toronto a few weeks ago now. He didn't have to do the Pro-Am in Toronto. He did it because he wanted to show out and play ball in front of fans. He made sure he stayed afterwards. This is what I wasn't there, but this is what I heard. Made sure he stayed afterwards to sign as many autographs as possible for all the fans who were there, all the especially young fans who were there to see him. They wanted to see him, and we're probably like, Raptors games are expensive. Getting out to a Raptors game is expensive. So maybe that's the only opportunity a lot of these people are going to have to actually see Scottie Barnes play basketball. Like I went to a bunch of Raptors games last season, probably like 3 to 5. But before that season, I had only been to like one in my life. It's difficult to get out of these games. So him going to do that for the fans is just so great to see. And him just kind of showing so much love and respect for his teammates in the city is refreshing, because we just simply do not get this very often from a Toronto Raptors standpoint. And hopefully this starts to kind of get rid of the stigma that superstar players don't want to play in Toronto. And that shouldn't be the case anymore, because guys do want to be here, and it's been like well over a decade, maybe even 2 decades since somebody actually wanted to leave the Raptors just because they didn't want to play in Canada. It's something that's very rare, but obviously it happened historically. It doesn't happen anymore, and hopefully as Scottie Barnes kind of grows into possibly a superstar player in the NBA, continuously shouting out Canada, Toronto, and all of that stuff, hopefully that stigma really starts to evaporate and really just stops becoming present. And maybe, hey, somebody who enjoys playing in Toronto so much and hopefully it turns into such a good player. I mean, after winning Rookie of the Year in such a dominant class that included Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley. And I mean, oh my God, the amount of people drooling over Evan Mobley and all these ESPN podcasts that I listen to now, like, man, these guys cannot get enough of Evan Mobley. And I mean, Scottie Barnes, hey, he's the one who won Rookie of the Year over this guy, but I don't know. It just kind of off topic. It seems to me like all these people are treating Evan Mobley like he's the best player in this class. I mean, who just won Rookie of the Year? I mean, best player in the class. It's not always just going to be the Rookie of the Year. We'll kind of have to see as far as who is the best player to come out of that 2021 draft. I think it's going to be an historic draft class at some point. But what I'm trying to say is, as this guy continues to grow, maybe this turns into a place where we can get a player, a superstar, not maybe a superstar, but a star player to come into free agency to something that team. That's a long way away. That's dependent on Scottie Barnes growing as a player and even more as an individual. That's dependent on the success of this team. But with Scottie Barnes on this team and Masai Ujiri pulling the strings in the background, I feel very, very hopeful about what this team can accomplish. But that is all for today on Amateur TV. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you thought about the new microphone, the new lighting. Worse, better. I listened to it back. Sounds great in my opinion. Super excited for this. Lots of other content coming on your way from Amateur Productions from myself. If you didn't know, last week I revealed the big announcement. I have a Raptors betting show coming on the Hammer Betting Network, a new network for sports betting content. I'm going to have my own Raptors show, an NBA show coming out. That's going to be closer to the start of the regular season. But hey, you've got me on Amateur Sports, my main channel. You got me here on the second channel. We've got the Twitch streams. We've got the Twitch highlight channel on YouTube for the best clips from our Twitch streams. We're going to have the Raptors betting show. And also, I'm going to be live streaming on my main channel on YouTube as well, doing watch parties for all Raptors games. Subscribe to all those channels, specifically subscribe here. I mean, you're already here. And make sure to like this video to give that extra bit of support. And I will see you again next time for another video on Amateur Hour TV.